The Canadian wilderness stretched out like a frozen ocean. White pines stood sentinel, their branches heavy with snow. The air was frigid, biting at exposed skin. This was the domain of the Wendigo, a creature born of greed and cold. The Cree whispered tales of the Wendigo around crackling fires, a creature of immense size and hunger. Its heart was a lump of ice, its breath a cloud of frost. Those who succumbed to greed, who consumed the flesh of their fellow man, risked attracting its attention. The Wendigo was a spirit of the north, a harbinger of madness and death. It stalked the frozen wastes, its hunger never sated. The crunch of footsteps on the snow could be the wind, or it could be the Wendigo drawing close. The old cabin stood nestled amongst the pines, a beacon of warmth in the frozen wilderness. 4 friends, escaping the city for a week, unloaded their gear. Jacob, Emily, Ben and Sarah. They were here for adventure, for camaraderie, for a chance to reconnect with nature. The first day was idyllic. They chopped wood, built a roaring fire in the stone fireplace and explored the surrounding woods. Laughter echoed through the trees, a stark contrast to the usual silence of the wilderness. They cooked a hearty meal over the fire, sharing stories and jokes. The setting sun painted the snowdrifts in hues of pink and orange. A comfortable silence fell over the group as they sipped hot chocolate, the warmth spreading through their bodies. For a moment, the outside world, with its worries and anxieties, seemed very far away.
As the fire died down to embers, I felt a shiver run down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The darkness beyond the windows seemed to press in, filled with unseen eyes. I dismissed it as exhaustion, the solitude of the wilderness playing tricks on my mind.
Later that night, nestled in his sleeping bag, Jacob was jolted awake by a sound. A high-pitched, inhuman scream echoed through the night. It was distant but filled with an unsettling intensity.
I lay frozen, listening intently, my heart pounding in my chest.
The scream didn't come again. Jacob tried to rationalize it, an owl perhaps, or a fox, but deep down a primal fear whispered in his gut. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The next morning, Jacob hesitated to share his experience. He didn't want to alarm his friends.
I think we should check out the area where I heard that scream last night.
They decided to explore the area where he'd heard the scream. The morning sun glinted off the pristine snow, the air crisp and clear. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the light-hearted mood evaporated. The trees grew denser, their branches intertwined, blocking out the sun. A sense of unease settled over the group.
Wait, look at that.
Then, Ryan stopped short, pointing at the ground. There, imprinted in the fresh snow, were massive tracks. They were unlike anything they had ever seen before. 3-toed with deep claw marks, they spoke of immense size and power. The tracks led further into the woods toward the heart of the ancient forest.
These tracks, they're not from any animal I know.
This is seriously creeping me out, guys.
A cold dread gripped Jacob's heart. He recognized the tracks from the stories his grandfather used to tell, legends whispered around campfires meant to scare children. But these tracks were real. The Wendigo was no mere legend.
Guys, we need to get out of here, now.
The friends exchanged uneasy glances. The wind seemed to moan through the trees, carrying a faint, sulphurous odor. The playful banter of the day before was gone, replaced by a tense silence. They decided to turn back, a sense of urgency gripping them.
Let's move, fast.
As they retraced their steps, the feeling of being watched intensified. The forest seemed to close in around them, the shadows lengthening despite the midday sun. They could hear the sound of their own breathing, harsh and ragged, in the stillness of the woods.
I can't shake the feeling that something is following us.
Just keep moving, we're almost there.
They broke into a run, their backpacks bouncing against their backs. The image of the clawed tracks fueled their flight. Back at the cabin, they slammed the heavy wooden door shut and bolted it. Safety, for the moment, was found within the sturdy log walls.
What do we do now? We can't stay here forever.
Panic edged into their voices as they debated what to do. The phones had no signal this far out. They were alone, cut off from civilization, with a creature of unimaginable hunger on their trail. Nightfall was approaching, bringing with it a fresh wave of terror.
We need to barricade the doors and windows, now.
They worked feverishly, reinforcing the windows, pushing furniture against the door. The cabin, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison. The fire they lit did little to dispel the fear that clung to them like a shroud. They were trapped, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
We have to stay calm. We'll figure this out.
I just hope we can make it through the night.